Outgoing climate czar John Kerry. Why the long face? Well, because the Green Revolution isn't as far along as he'd like. He had a message. About what needs to be done. We know what needs to be done.
Yes.
If we do what needs to be done, this thing is going to be bigger than the Industrial Revolution. Here's what it is.
This will be expensive to make the transition through investment. No country in the world has enough money to do this by itself. But if we mobilize the private sector into infrastructure, new grids, water treatment facilities, transportation, laying down the power lines and so forth, those are jobs. Those are jobs for electricians and heavy equipment operators and plumbers and steel workers and so forth. And so this is a moment of looking at the greatest economic transition that is potential there if we seize the baton and we go do it. And it is larger even than the Industrial Revolution transformation that took place in the 1800s and early 1900s. That's our possibility. And there's no question in my mind that if we do what we know how to do and what we promise to do, we will actually make the world, let me stop myself and just put one thing in front of you. Currently, 7 million people are dying around the world every year because of pollution, because of the bad air quality. That's greenhouse gas pollution, folks. We know what we have to do. It's the burning of fossil fuel and not capturing it, the emissions, that is the problem. So we don't need a new algorithm defined. We don't need a rocket scientist to define what's the problem. We know what the problem is. It's simple. It's us. The choices we make about how we light our homes, our factories, power our vehicles, and so forth.
All right, folks, you're the problem, and you're disappointing John Kerry. So let's step up our game. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We've got to combat air pollution, and that means changing the way, if at all, that we heat our homes and the kind of cars we drive.
How
and
we
stuff.
cook, Dan. We can't use gas burners.
All of that.
Who's replacing him? His daughter, or do we not have a replacement yet?
Doesn't matter. Interestingly, so on that topic of air pollution killing all these people, and John Kerry's this visionary who is going to save the West by ushering in a government-directed revolution that will dwarf the industrial one. A study that resurfaced this weekend, thanks to an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, from 2022, emissions data from Emission Analytics finds that electric vehicles release more toxic particles into the atmosphere and are worse for the environment than their gas-powered counterparts. Brakes and tires on electric vehicles release 1,850 times more particle pollution compared to modern tailpipes, which have efficient exhaust filters, bringing gas-powered vehicles' emissions to new lows. Today, most vehicle-related pollution comes from tire wear. As heavy cars drive on light-duty tires, most often made with synthetic rubber made from crude oil and other filters and additives, they deteriorate and release harmful chemicals into the air, according to the study by Emission Analytics. Because EVs are on average 30% heavier, brakes and tires on the battery-powered cars wear out faster than on standard cars.
Oh, that would make sense. Okay.
So I don't know who's going to break it to the climate czar, but
or even Gavin Newsom, who wants to be emissions free by 2030 or 2035.
All right, we'll take your calls for the thank you for the for your service notes that you want to offer, and we'll collect and send along to John Kerry.
And who should his replacement be?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Mike in Hammond. Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Dan. Where did Kerry get the number of 7 million people a year die from pollution?
He just makes it up.
No, that's what people do.
Yeah,
People make up random things like stand 6 feet apart, walk 10,000 steps. All this is random.
Now, with the vehicles getting much heavier, I didn't hear nothing about the infrastructure, how it's going to damage the infrastructure more than it already is. And I'm glad that he finally admitted that human beings are the problem, because I think this whole climate agenda is to is to minimize or bring the Earth's population down. And that's my opinion, because more people die with the cold weather than the warm weather.
Yep, more people, more problems.
That's a fact.
Yeah, more people, more problems, Mike. That's right. Rick on in the south suburbs.
Hello.
Hey, Rick.
Hi. Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that I was against electric, but I just transitioned to an electric toothbrush. So I'm doing my part.
Oh, there
Electric
you go.
toothbrush,
That's-
great, wonderful.
What,
Thank
you know what?
That-
You're my daily hero. That's
right.
what I love about you.
I hope they don't release harmful chemicals into the air at a rate greater than the old toothbrush, the old manual toothbrush. The problem we have with the EVs versus gasoline-powered cars. For more on this and other topics, economic, we're pleased to be joined by Steve Moore, economist, GovZilla author. Steve, congratulations! I hear we're going to see you in Times Square, the biggest thing to hit Times Square since the Naked Cowboy.
Well, we do have a 50-foot ad on one of those big billboards in Times Square, and it basically shows the ticking time bomb of the debt clock, and then it just explodes, because what we're doing right now is one of the most economically dangerous trends we've seen in American history. Everyone knows that this movie does not have a happy ending, and we're just trying to raise public consciousness. So go to committee.unleashprosperity.com and you can see the 15-second ad. But it's getting a lot of publicity, and thank you for mentioning that, Dan.
Wait, does the ad explode like the scoreboard at Comiskey Park? Does it actually like throw off fireworks?
Well,
That
we
would be
couldn't
cool.
quite afford that, but it explodes on the screen. And look at this. Everyone knows that when you're borrowing, the latest statistic, by the way, under Biden, and he's giving his big speech tonight, which is going to be a big celebration of Bidenomics. Did you know that, Dan?
That's
Tomorrow
tomorrow.
night.
Tomorrow,
Oh,
State of the
everything's
Union.
Nikki Haley's conceding at 9.
Yeah.
Biden tomorrow at 7.
Yeah. Well, and
You're gonna have to stay up and watch that. Come on.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have to go. No going to bed. You
Well,
gotta listen to Biden. How long is it gonna take for him to give that speech? Given his speech impediments.
He's
these
going to
days?
fall asleep.
I don't
I
know.
guarantee, like the over/under of him nodding off, because I'll be nodding off,
Right.
and I'm not 80.
so he gave a little bit of a preview of his State of the Union address yesterday. His treatise on shrinkflation. He's partnering with the Cookie Monster to stick it to the big food companies that are padding their profits. Take a listen.
But even as supply chains are back to normal, some companies are still not passing along the savings to their customers. Many corporations are raising their prices to pad their profits, charging folks more and more for less and less. But in fact, some of the small snack companies you won't even notice what they're doing. When they charge you just as much for the same size bag of potato chips, only has a hell of a lot fewer chips in it. I'll tell you who did notice, the Cookie Monster. He pointed out his cookies are getting smaller, paying the same price. I was stunned when I found out that's what actually happened.
Yeah. What about that, Steve? What's going on with the bag of Chips Ahoy? We're missing a couple of cookies, and Cookie wants cookies.
Well, the problem is we just have all these greedy corporations, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
Problem. It's greed. Milton Friedman, someone that the three of us greatly admire, had a great video that people can watch on this when he was asked about corporate greed. And he said, companies have been greedy since the whole concept of free enterprise started. That's the businesses are in business to make money, and to think that companies aren't going to do things to try to make money. But here's the thing. We didn't have shrinkflation when Trump was president, right? Why is this happening now?
Well, I think it's because ever since COVID, I'm telling you, they repackage things. Like you used to be able to get LaCroix water, a 12-pack for $3.99.
Yeah.
Now it's an 8-pack for $4.99. I'm like, what? So you're getting less, but you have to pay more. And that's with almost every item at the grocery store. I'm telling you.
No, you're exactly right. It is happening. I'm a Doritos fan. I eat Doritos every day.
Not anymore. You can't. You can't eat Doritos anymore. They got that trans predator that is their spokeshuman.
Yeah,
they
but
did.
you order.
Yeah.
Used to be you'd get the bag and there'd be like 25 chips in there. And now you get it and there's like 18 chips in it. Now,
Are you counting them?
Yeah, people count.
I count them. That's how,
yeah, of course he counts. He's an economist.
Oh, yeah.
What that means is per chip, you're paying more. So this is a nice, simple explanation of Bidenomics, right? Bidenomics mean you pay a lot more and you get a lot less. Gee, it's a wonderful deal. I think we should be celebrating that tonight.
Well, wait, are you seriously going to keep eating Doritos? Do you know about Sam? Or what's her name, Dan? Samantha
Hudson. Yeah, she's been sidelined, but the Doritos did a Dylan Mulvaney, but it's even worse than Dylan Mulvaney as a brand ambassador. I don't know how to break it to you.
She's a pedophile. Yeah.
So you may need to get a new snack, Steve. Go back to Ding Dongs or something, some Hostess product. But by the way, what do you think about Biden making the Cookie Monster the chairman of his Council of Economic Advisors? I'd kind of like to see that.
I think it's a vast improvement.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, see that off topic?
Exactly.
Yesterday was Super Tuesday. He's talking about Cookie Monster.
Speaking of cabinet officials, or senior level advisors, at least, Jamie Dimon. I saw in your Committee on Unleash Prosperity newsletter that Jamie Dimon is starting to talk a little bit more like a free marketeer who wants to structurally reform institutions like college and make things more affordable for the American people. He's starting to talk like somebody who wants to be Treasury Secretary.
Yeah, he even said that states like Illinois should be more like states like Florida. He's even attacking red states like Illinois, New York, and California. I mean, you're exactly right, Dan. All of a sudden, he is sounding more like he's a religious listener of the Dan and Amy show, and he's changed his tune. And I think he is auditioning. This is the point we made in our outline, is maybe he's auditioning to be the Treasury Secretary. We'll see. But I do like the things that he's saying. He's calling out Biden for the wrong direction of our country in so many ways. And it's a pretty conservative free market, direction. So I'm pleased to see that. We'll see. I mean, Trump likes to have, some of these Wall Street people around him. He picked Steve Mnuchin, who was a Wall Street guy, to be his Treasury Secretary the first time. So, we'll see.
Steve Moore, economist, Govzilla author. Steve, thank you as always.
Okay, I'm going to go get some cookies now and some Doritos. You guys are making me hungry.
All right, thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
At Turnkey, we understand that success isn't just about the bottom line. It's about creating a business that aligns with your own personal goals and aspirations. Hi, this is David Kolsak, president and founder of Turnkey. Nearly 3 decades ago, I started my own business so that I could have control of my financial destiny. I also wanted the freedoms of flexible work hours, family time, and to pursue my own passions. Now, my team of veteran consultants and technicians have been helping other businesses do just the same. At Turnkey, we know that every business is unique. That's why we take the time to learn about you and your business and help you build a customized strategy to make your business an extension of your lifestyle. We optimize your business, streamline operations, leverage your IT infrastructure, and help you find innovative solutions. Our world-class IT and business consulting services allow us to focus on the tedious stuff so you can focus on what's important to you. Start a conversation today. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro today.
Before you know it, it will be springtime and then summer. And how are your knees? How is your joint